I wonder how many people out there are in situations where they're dealing with like an immense emotional load from people that are doing the wrong thing. They're just, it's not right, like what's happening. But they're too scared to talk about it, and they're too scared to do anything about it. And you don't actually know what to do about it. Especially when it's like all intertwined with like your personal relationships and everything. It's very, and part of it is like everybody convincing you that you're the problem. Like you should just apologize, or like you should just not do these particular things that are upsetting everybody. Like you need to change, you need to change, you need to change, and you take all of that on, and you take it all on and take it all on, and it destroys your mental health. And you end up in a position where, like, you know, it's been a really long time since I actually dealt with this stuff, and I turn the camera on to talk about it because I feel like it's not present in my life anymore and I don't have to worry about it. And I still feel a response. Like I still feel like, oh, I don't want to open this can of worms again. I don't want to deal with this. I don't even want to imagine this. But I thought like maybe there's some value in like talking about it, because you know, like you could send me a message or something, and like I could actually tell you what I've learned and maybe help you like find some ways through these challenges, because it comes in so many different ways, you know. Especially like I can't even imagine what it would be like if there were kids involved. Like if I had children and I was in a complex like family drama and there were disagreements that were evolving into all of this resentment and toxic behavior, and like you're trying to navigate that and you're trying to do what's best for the kids, like that would drive me insane. Like I just had myself to worry about when I was younger and dealing with these kinds of things. But it definitely, it like cost me a lot. It cost me a lot of time, energy and awareness and money. Like in the particular relationship that I was really struggling in, I was earning less than a third of what my partner was earning. So that was because she was on a big fat salary, like crushing it at life. But like I wasn't earning much money because I was just freelancing, and I was also studying. Like I was a struggling student, which is totally normal and that's totally fine. Like it's not a problem, but people convince you that you're a problem in that kind of family drama kind of dynamic. So yeah, that's another thing that adds to it. Like, and I guess the thing that I'm really thinking about in the present moment that's triggered me to make this video is I never want to compromise myself again like that. And it's like, I'm like, I don't know if that's healthy or unhealthy, like to want to never be dependent on another person for the rest of my life. But I don't care. Like that's how strong this is. Like it's like, nah, I'm staying in control of my own life, and I'm staying in control. Like I'm never having any level of dependence on another human being again. Maybe that will change. Maybe I will. But I think it's kind of healthy too. And that's kind of the main thing that I wanted to communicate and share. Like it's my solution. Maybe it's not necessarily the best solution. But the first thing that I would encourage anybody to do is carve out your independence. Like find your independence again. Get back in control of your own life, whatever it takes. And it can be an absolute nightmare to do that. And it might mean leaving the relationship. Not to say that you can't come back to it later. Like the whole thing is like what I've learned from trying to navigate like a downward spiral of like toxic behavior, resentment, and just negative emotions on all sides, and just like it's nobody's fault kind of situation where you don't want to blame anyone, you don't want to be the victim, you want to empower yourself, but it just feels like everything is fucking chaos and there's nothing you can do about anything, and every move that you make seems to make it worse because you're stuck in this game, like this drama. And like as long as you're in it, like you've just lost control of everything, and you're dependent on different people for different reasons, like, or like even if you don't feel like you're fully dependent, like you're interconnected with all of this stuff, and like you can't separate yourself out from it anymore. And as long as it's all connected, like it feels like you can't move, like, and then you're resentful, and then you're reacting, and then you're being toxic as well. Like it's not just like everybody else is an asshole, like you turn into, like you start to do things out of desperation and reactivity and anger and resentment, and it's just like so bad. So like I think the only thing that you can do, and what like why that's my main takeaway after all this time reflecting on it, is like carve out your independence again. Like you need to get back to a place where you're in control of your own life and you're not tangled up in all of this drama, because it only gets more tangled. Like I kept trying to make it better, and I kept compromising myself more and more, and all that did was made me more resentful and more reactive and less in control. Because the more resentful I got, the more I would actually create more drama. I was contributing more to the drama. Whereas like as soon as I freed myself, then I was no longer like I felt really upset that I felt like I'd lost so much in walking away from the drama. But as soon as I wasn't in the game anymore, I was able to start building the life that I wanted, even though it felt like I had to build it from like the ashes of like a burned down fucking life. I'd rather do that than keep just pouring fuel on the fire. So I don't know who this is relevant to, but the funny thing about these journals is I find that like people just find them when they need to find them, and they hear what they need to hear, and they have their own insights. Nothing I ever say in these videos is intended to be advice or guidance. It's just me expressing what I'm thinking and feeling in the present moment. And I'm trying to do that as mindfully as possible and contribute meaningfully through these journals. Like back in the day, like I was just practicing my communication. I wasn't really thinking about other people watching these. Most of the journals would have 0 views, or maybe 1, 2, 3 at the max. And back then, like I didn't really think about it so much. But now, as the audience continues to grow, and I can see that it will continue to grow, I've been a lot more mindful with the content, and I've gone and I've like sort of I've deleted a lot of old videos and like put a lot more thought into like how, like what impact this, me just sharing how I'm thinking and feeling is gonna, like, I just think about it more. So I think I've said what I really need to say. I'm in a situation now where I've sort of built myself back up. I'm now got all of the qualifications that I need to make good money and support myself and have a nice space and have plenty of abundance left over to contribute meaningfully in the ways that I want to contribute. And that's really exciting to me. But none of this would have occurred. Like it would have just, like, I don't know where I would be if I didn't take the leap and just go for it. And I had to take like huge risks and stuff as well, and I'm not sure how much I want to share about that, but you know, it's not going to be easy. Back to, I've got the person in my mind again, like the type of person that needs to hear this. It's not going to be easy to withdraw yourself from the situation. If you're in a really complex situation with a lot of drama and interconnected problems, like to eject from that, you're gonna feel like you've lost all of your support, and you're gonna feel like you've lost all your, it's just gonna feel like a massive loss, and you're not gonna feel like you have the resources to do anything. Like it feels like a huge risk. Like you've got some kind of security in that situation, and then you just kind of eject. And you know what I did was like lived in my ute for a while. And that's like, not everyone's going to want to do that, or not everyone's going to see that as a solution to the problem. But like, I think one of the main things that I really needed was time. And I've found that again and again since, like when I've started to rebuild my life and stuff, like if I start to feel like I'm going off track, I just go and find myself some time. Like I just get away, like I'm here right now, this is good. This is just like a couple of hours out of my day though, that I've come down here to chill. I actually wanted to live here for a long time. This is actually in Currumbin Valley. It's the eco village. It's a really beautiful spot. There's like kangaroos just chilling in people's yards and all that kind of thing. This is also a really good setting to go and think about really intense, like emotional stuff. Like if you're gonna try to figure out your life, I would recommend doing it like this. Like don't sit in your room and like in the darkness, like rocking back and forwards like a crazy person trying to figure out your life. Get out of it. Get away from it. That's the thing that I really needed to do. Just get away from everything and start to like reevaluate and reassess in an environment that's conducive to possibility. Like this feels good. This is going to change the way that you're thinking and feeling. Your setting, where you are. It's very important. But I don't know, like I feel like I'm kind of giving advice and I don't even know who I'm giving it to. But like I've never shared anything about this. Like I've been very scared to, because I don't want to create any conflict. I don't want to create any drama for myself. But I feel like it's all far enough in the past now that it doesn't matter. And if somebody makes it matter, that's on them. Like, I don't really care. Had enough of the game. And I lost everything that mattered to me in all of that anyway, so it's like, what are you going to do to me now? Like what else is there to take? And that's a powerful place. And I'm aware that like, I don't know, I'm aware of a lot of things. But now I'm very determined to create a space for myself where I'm totally in control. And that, it feels like maybe the next problem that's emerging for me on the horizon now, maybe this is like a 2-part video, like maybe somebody was like earlier on the journey. Okay, so let's say you've already like gone away, detangled all of your mess and you figured it all out. The next thing I'm wondering is like how to be a healthy person now and how to have healthy relationships. And like, because it feels like now I'm swinging the pendulum the other way to like, I need to be in total control of my relationships, and that feels like toxic. Like who is going to want to put up with that kind of, that level of like my boundaries and everything, and like my seriousness, and like it doesn't feel free and fun and playful and like and joyful and like loving, and you know, it doesn't feel like an environment to create like a nice free-flowing connection. It feels very rigid. So the next thing that I need to learn is like, so I swung my pendulum all the way back to control. Like I need to be in control of my own life. I need to get back in the driver's seat, and I need to not have any kind of anything that's like compromising my life anymore. And now I'm like learning like how to relate, and like how to, even with my own family and everything, all of my relationships in my whole life have changed. My friendships, like every single relationship has changed as I've had these insights and I've learned all these things. And I've definitely put walls up between me and my closest friends. I've put distance up between absolutely everybody and myself, and I've isolated myself quite a bit through this process. And now I'm like starting to navigate like relationships again, and I'm like, okay, how do you do this? like it's a trust thing. Like I find it difficult to trust people, and I find it difficult to let people in, but I give people a lot of like, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, like quite consciously, and like I tell them like what's important to me and my boundaries and everything. But think a lot of like what's important to me when I discuss it with people doesn't make a lot of sense. It seems like quite over the top, and they're like, you know, I almost feel like sometimes it's not taken seriously. But navigating all of that and just trying to learn how to be comfortable having trust. Because, yeah, I don't know, it just seems to be like really, honestly, like I keep thinking it would be easier just not to have relationships. Like that's how much it's affected me. And I kind of just want to set up my space and my business, and I kind of just want to contribute my contribution to the world, and that's that. Like it's gonna take somebody really special to fully enter into a meaningful relationship with me. I don't think that I'm going to go much deeper with anybody until I'm sort of shown because the relationships are important to me too. Like I really want a full, wholehearted relationship. I want to have children. I want to like do it all, have the house, like the dream life. But I guess what I'm learning is like you can't expect to have all of that until you're solid in yourself. And that's just me. Like I know a lot of people, like they grow together, they learn together, they play together, they love each other, and it's all sunshine and rainbows. It never is all sunshine and rainbows, but it evolves in a healthy way. But I just think I need to like really address like everything that's inside of me more before I expect somebody else to understand me. Like I need to understand me before I can expect anybody else to understand me. And that's like one of the reasons why I do these journals, because I'm trying to learn how to communicate what's inside of me and really say what I mean, and really like take responsibility for like my part in all of it, and just reflect and contemplate and turn anything that's unhealthy into something that's healthy by understanding what it is that's not right. So like in this video there's like a whole bunch of things that are like I've really contemplated deeply, and I feel like I've got a lot of closure with, and I understand it and I know what I need to do. And then there's other parts in the video where like it's almost so like I'm still trying to figure it out, and I still have so much confusion around it that I don't even want to share it, because I'm like, I don't know. But all of this is just like real human stuff. It's just like, well, even with all of the knowledge and guidance and wisdom that has been shared with me from the most incredible human beings on the planet that have helped me heal myself, I still find myself in these situations. Like we're always learning and growing and trying to figure stuff out. And I guess like one more thing is like, you don't have to figure it all out right now. That's just like felt really important to say that. Like, you don't have to figure it all out today. You don't have to figure it all out this year. You don't even have to figure it all out this lifetime. Some things are just going to be like a journey, and they're going to be really complicated and just constant learning and growing and never quite arriving anywhere that feels like closure, that feels like, oh yeah, that all makes sense. But there'll be other things throughout your life that do make sense. So like maybe one of the other things that I've done really well is like, okay, I don't know what to do about that, but I know what to do about this and this and this and this and this and all these things. So I'm going to fucking get all these things solid, and I'll come back to that. And with all of the insights and knowledge and lessons that I learned from all of the things that I can control and all the things that I can understand, maybe when I come back to address this issue over here, which is what I'm doing today after all this time, it'll make more sense and I can actually do something positive with it. I think that's important too. I think that's probably the main thing that would actually be helpful from this whole video. So if you got anything out of it, please let me know what it is in the comments below. Click the like button for me if you just want to let me know, yeah, this was a good one. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check out kailives.com. There's some resources on there that can help you heal yourself and like figure out your own life. And if you're further along the journey and you're looking to make your own impact on the world and contribute what you want to contribute, there's a whole bunch of resources for that as well. And I'm continually adding to it. Thanks for watching.